Speaking of the NFL draft, everybody knows that first pick is Trevor Lawrence to the Jags. Everybody knows
No,
that
to the
second
Patriots.
pick.
I told you
Oh,
guys that.
God. I know. And then the second pick, of course, we've got the Jets, and everybody highly speculating right there is going to be Zach Wilson. If not,
Justin
everybody
Fields?
highly speculates
It's
that
not
it
gonna
will
Zach
be
is trash.
Me and Tori had
Justin
Justin
Fields.
Fields.
Y'all got Justin Fields?
Yeah, we both got
I got
Justin
Justin Fields.
I don't know.
Zach is trash. Zach is trash.
But Tori does have Justin Fields' stock dropping a lot here since the epilepsy.
Since the epilepsy, yeah.
Yeah, I know. That was actually crazy.
That's
That's
again, like we talked about last night, though. Too, it's if NFL teams were that concerned, this would have came out a long time ago.
Yeah.
I think, it came up in somebody's report. It was going to come out anyways. He said, "Yeah, I'm epileptic." If other teams are like, man, we still want this kid, like.
It's probably like a really mild case of it. Like he had an episode like when he was a little kid, like one time. I bet if it was that big of an issue, they would have brought it up a whole lot sooner than this,
Right.
and it would have reared its ugly head by now.
I agree.
Speaking of Justin Fields, two teams that are highly in contention for him sit at the 3rd and 4th overall pick. The 3rd overall pick, of course, the San Francisco 49ers. They traded up for the Miami Dolphins pick there. The Miami Dolphins, of course, trade back to 6th, and the Eagles trade back to where they were at, I believe they're at 12, which they are. We'll talk about that a little bit later, too. But also at the 4th pick, it's Atlanta. Atlanta, another heavy favorite to take a quarterback, and Justin Fields is a name there. But we'll start with San Francisco first. The 3rd overall pick, Mr. Buckheister.
Yeah. So the
Who goes there and why?
Well, first things first is I did have the San Francisco 49ers drafting a quarterback, but Wyatt, me and you went out to eat, yesterday, right? Over there at and then we saw some breaking news coming across the screen that the 49ers signed Jimmy G till 2023 with a no trade clause, correct?
Yep.
So that got me kind of raising some red flags. Are they actually going
Don't know
to
why they'd ever do that.
Yeah, but are they actually going to draft a quarterback in this 3rd overall pick, or are they looking to
I
move out of that 3rd overall pick now because they gave up quite a bit to move up those 3 spots, right? I mean, they obviously gave up their 6th pick, and then I think it's like a 2nd pick as well in the second round.
Yep.
But so for them not to really know because the rumors are that they don't know what they're going to do yet. Like there have been rumors that they're going to get Mac Jones. They're at Justin Fields and Trash Zach's both 2nd pro days as well. But everything's pointing towards Mac Jones. But I am looking for them to probably look to trade out of that pick. They are looking to do a draft day, the movie type of thing where they moved up and they're going to be like, hey, we want 2 first-round picks for this pick. And there's going to be somebody that is probably going to bite. But if they're going to stay there, I think you have to draft a quarterback. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And everything's pointing towards Mac Jones. I mean, you have Jimmy G there for 2 more years with a no trade clause in his contract. So he is going to be the starter. And I think Mac Jones has the most Trey Lance has the most room to grow, but Mac Jones will benefit the most of sitting behind somebody and learning the system and learning the ropes, and then possibly may even have some pretty crap couple years, and then he slides in there, and they got a number 1 overall pick at left tackle. They got a brand new receiver. They got so there's time for them to build. So I'm going with the Mac Jones at number 3.
So, you mentioned the quarterbacks and stuff. While we were sitting there and we saw it come across the screen, breaking news, my first question was Kyle Pitts, but then I realized, oh, no, they have George Kittle. There's no reason for them to go get another tight end. He's young, and he is one of the top tight ends in the league. So,
but
I mean, you don't want but here's the thing I'm getting at, though. A big name that's been mentioned all offseason to go 2nd overall was Penei Sewell.
Right.
Do we maybe see Joe Staley just retired? They need a tackle. Do we maybe see them go up and get him?
As soon as you said that, that's the first thing I thought of. I'm like, Sewell sitting there, he's been going of everybody. He's been sliding anywhere from number 3 to 16 in a lot of the mock drafts.
Yeah.
And I don't see him going outside the top 10 ever.
There's no way.
I could, with Joe Staley's retirement, I could 100% see them taking him. It would make all the sense in the entire world.
Well, they just re-signed Williams, so that's a big addition for tackle. If he can stay healthy, he's one of the top tackles in the league. But we've seen his. You mentioned his draft stock. It's kind of gone up and down. I think we can kind of credit that to there's always been this stigma that you can't take an offensive lineman too early. But when you have Quentin Nelson, who went with the 6th overall pick just a couple of years ago, and he's the best offensive lineman in the league right now.
Who's got that stigma? There's no stigma on linemen.
There has always been a stigma that you cannot take a lineman too early.
Overall. Joe Thomas went number 2 overall.
The Kansas City Chiefs drafted the guy from Michigan number 1 overall, Schwartz, right?
No, and there's been some over the years, but that's always been the criticism for everybody. That's the first thing they said about the Colts whenever they drafted Quentin Nelson at the 6th overall pick. Oh, you can't get a lineman that high. There's been plenty of people who've said that over time, but I think that Quentin Nelson has broken that in a way because he's the best lineman in the league.
Let me ask you this,
I think that Sewell.
It was broken way before that, as by the names. Joe Thomas is a Hall of Famer. He went number 2 overall. Orlando Pace is a Hall of Famer. He went number 1 overall. That mold was broken way before Quentin Nelson was probably even born.
So what? Just to kind of piggyback on kind of what you're saying here. Have you ever seen an offensive lineman be a bust in the NFL? I can't think of any. Right?
Not
Robert
really.
Gallery. Robert Gallery.
I mean, maybe like
Tony
Jake
Mandarich.
Matthews. Maybe Jake Matthews didn't shape out to what they said he was going to be.
Yeah, but
he was a number 1 overall pick.
Those are very few far and in between, though.
No. He was like 3 or 4.
Okay.
But he was still top 5 pick, which is still so high. But also one of the stigma that the linemen have is that there are 5 per team, right? So you have more room to draft. So therefore there are more quality linemen like in the draft. There are only so many great quarterbacks in the draft. So therefore, we have 5 good quarterbacks in the draft. So those are the reason why it's kind of like a supply and demand type of thing. Why lean your head back so your headphones don't echo.
Sorry.
But so like that is why the quarterbacks always go first, and that stigmatism is there that the linemen don't like you don't draft a lineman that high. But when you have once in a lifetime generational talent like a Penny Sewell and your line sucks, why not? But with that being said, that kind of adds to my point that the 49ers will probably move down out of that pick because Tori, you said you seen a mock draft of him going as low as 16, right?
Yeah.
But I don't see him going past Cincinnati, so they'll probably slide back to Cincinnati's drafting 7 or 8, right?
They're 5th.
They're 5th. They're
so,
right after the Falcons.
So maybe they won't move back.
I can tell you this though, if the Niners don't go QB at 3, if they stay at 3 and don't go with a quarterback, the Patriots will make a move and they will get a quarterback. I can promise you that right now. The whole reason why the Patriots haven't made that move yet is because they're waiting till draft day and they want to see what everybody does. I promise you. Bill Belichick has got some card up his sleeve right now that he is holding, and we have no clue what it is.
I do.
But
Jordan Love
coming on
the piece of paper. He's traded for Jordan Love, baby.
I would be fine with that, and I think that would be a good move for them. But I think he's waiting to draft day to make that decision too, and I think Jordan Love is a draft day decision if that does come, which would be cool because I would love for us to have the 12th overall pick. We could really get a nice weapon or like Rashawn Slaughter to add for protection for Aaron Rodgers, but we're not speaking about the Packers right now. I will get totally derailed, so we're cranking it back here. But with like I was saying, if they don't go quarterback at 3, I really think that the Patriots make a move because I think that's why the Patriots haven't made that move yet is because they're waiting to see what everybody does. And I still think there's a huge chance that they take a quarterback at 3, and I think it's going to be Mac Jones, and that will be the biggest mistake that they made. But then again, they make all kinds of cool mistakes at quarterback out there in Niner land. I mean, look at all the stuff that they've done.
No.
Over the last couple of years.
The last couple of years, they had Joe Montana, Steve Young, Alex Smith.
Last couple of years, Joe Montana.
So?
Joe Montana was like the 80s and 90s.
They drafted Colin Kaepernick, which had a good couple years.
Then they just paid Jimmy G all that money, and he's been hurt pretty much the whole time and hasn't really done anything.
Only have 2 losses when he plays. 49 Niners.
but he's had what 2 seasons where he's been there for 3 years and has only had 1 healthy season.
I think he's 23-2 as a starter though for San Francisco.
But he's also got an incredible defense backing him too that carries, and a lot of weapons around him too.
So that matters.
So what you're saying is that Jimmy Garoppolo is not a good quarterback.
No, I don't think he is. I really don't. I think he'd have been a good quarterback in New England if Tom Brady would have been patient and let him learn. But I think he got shipped out way too early, and I don't know. I really don't think he's that good.
How long did you want him to sit as a backup? He was like a backup for like 8 years, but wasn't he?
No, I didn't want him to sit as a backup. I wanted him to eventually take over in New England. That would have been the best thing that ever happened to him if he would have stayed there and then took over. But then again, we saw Tom Brady stayed for a whole lot longer than what they thought they would. So he wouldn't have sat this long. He was going to eventually move, but I think that the best thing for him was to eventually take over New England. I don't think him going to the Niners was good.
How do you think he would have been more healthy at New England?
Well, I mean, he didn't lose a single game in New England.
He also played, like 3 games?
No, he played, what was it? I think it was 8 his entire time.
Ooh, 8-0.
But still, I mean, 8-0, that's a good record. I mean,
baby.
It's undefeated. It is. So, and also, you play in that division at the time he would have been playing.
Why
there
you
wasn't
quarterback? You could have quarterbacked for the Patriots at that time. And won
exactly.
That division going
That's what I'm saying.
So
you got 6 guaranteed. No, you have 5 guaranteed wins because you'll lose 1 to Miami. They always lose in Miami and the Patriots.
Waffling, you waffling does what you're doing, you do best. Like, so you're saying you're not a good quarterback, but he would have been successful in New England.
No, I just think that the Niners was not a good spot for him. I don't think he's a good quarterback in San Francisco. He hasn't. I don't think he's been good at all. He's had 1 decent year where he was carried by a defense and carried by weapons that have surrounded him. Huh?
He went to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's what I said. He had 1 good year where he was carried by a defense and a lot of good weapons.
So you're telling me if he's not healthy this year with that same defense, with more offensive weapons added on there, another year like underneath the Kyle Shanahan system, they don't go back to the playoffs and make noise? What's different?
I think they go, if he's healthy the whole year, I think he goes to the playoffs, yeah, but I don't think they do anything in the playoffs.
Though? I mean, like, doesn't making the playoffs count you as like a successful season?
Yeah, but if you have a good quarterback at the helm of that team, it's a Super Bowl team. The team literally went to the Super Bowl a couple of years ago.
So what's the difference?
With Jimmy G at the helm.
Yeah, when Jimmy G was playing well and he was healthy. But Jimmy G, is brittle, can't stay healthy, and he's overrated. He's carried by a defense and weapons.
But you just said he had a good year that year and took him to the Super Bowl.
And
he didn't take him to the Super Bowl. He got carried to the Super Bowl.
Man Hour Nation. Thank you for checking out that clip. If you're interested in watching the full show, the link is in the description. Click on it, hit that like button, share it with a couple friends, and as always, Man Hour Nation, rise up.